What's up people, welcome to another vlog. I'm not gonna lie, this is a tad spontaneous, this one. So I'm downstairs in my gym doing my usual back session and I got about 10 minutes in and I was like, this is the type of stuff you guys and girls have been asking to see more of. Who struggles with pull-ups? Right, I'm gonna get that sorted for you today. One of my biggest goals at the moment is butterfly chest to bars. Oh, hang on a minute, there's a stampede of bros I can hear in the distance. They're not real pull-ups, you pussy! Anyway, butterfly chest to bar pull-ups are probably the most advanced variation of a kip and pull-up that you would do in CrossFit, apart from then when you start to transition into doing muscle-ups and that kind of stuff. But all the way up to those advanced areas, but all the way back down to the basics. It's like, when you're doing pull-ups, it's about efficient movement patterns and also long-term, sorry I'm being old here, shoulder health, right? One of the things we've talked about is scapular retraction, protraction, being in control of your scap pulls, this kind of stuff. We've talked about it quite briefly a few times, but now I'm gonna strip down and show you exactly what I'm doing, why, and how I'm doing it, because it will really help if you've never done a strict pull-up and you wanna do strict pull-ups, or you've been doing assisted work and you're gonna get my opinion on why I think that's kind of a little bit advanced as well. If you wanna do more pull-ups and you wanna stop getting shoulder pain, if you're getting shoulder pain doing butterflies and kipping and that kind of stuff, this is definitely gonna help. So, let's crack on. Honest moment, how many of you class this as your warm-up for pull-ups? And then, straight into your pull-ups. Yeah? Look recognizable? Because that is exactly how I used to do pull-ups all the time. And it's, you know, along with lifestyle and all that kind of stuff and sport-specific training I used to do, is one of the main reasons that my shoulders ended up in tatters. And I got to a certain number of pull-ups, couldn't do any more. I'm gonna upset the bros because that warm-up is the one that they wanna do and that's the one they're probably gonna stick to. But, little secret, if you wanna be good at pull-ups, if you wanna go in there and be like a stealth ninja, suddenly you just walk up to it and bang, bang, bang. Every bro in that gym who's 3 or 4 times the size of you is gonna come up to you and go, how do you do pull-ups like that? My arms are like 4 times the size of yours and I can't do them. It's about efficient movement patterns. Our bodies want to work as a whole. We know, we've said this before, our bodies are kind of lazy. They'll do something the easiest possible way that they can. And pull-ups are just the same. If you do it in a bad way, your body will go, well, I'll let you get away with it a few times because you're not gonna do it that often. But then when you wanna turn around and do more pull-ups, or you wanna do, as I do at the moment, chest to bars, or you wanna do muscle-ups, and you wanna do more than 3, 4, 5, 10 reps, your body then starts to go, well, it starts to break down and it's going, hang on a minute, I can't do it like this because these biceps, however big they are, they're not big enough to support that movement over, what's the word, over a lot of reps essentially. God, I could have said that so much better. But anyway, if you're somebody who sits at a desk specifically, I hate to kind of single you guys and girls out, but it's a really easy kind of general thing that I can use. So sorry if it's, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. There's so many other people, I've never sat at a desk and I've still got poor issues in my thoracic region. But you tend to, because you're sat at a desk, shoulders start to roll forward through lifestyle, pecs start to get quite tight, enhancing that even more so, anterior delts get quite tight, rear delts don't really get activated, upper traps get quite tight and dominant, lats don't really get activated a great deal, thoracic part of the spine is quite immobile, I don't really know what that's doing, scaps get a little bit sticky, so protraction, retraction, depression can be quite hard. It kind of feels a little bit like you've never done it before when you start to move them because there's little muscles that have to kind of help support those. If this is starting to sound a little bit like you and you can't do pull-ups, or at the moment you're doing assisted pull-ups, this is really gonna help. Assisted pull-ups, this is a variation, right? You may have seen this in a gym, personal trainers using this, right? Band, it's essentially there to help with the concentric phase, the hardest part, the pulling up, right? Great, absolutely great, along with machines and coaches putting their hands under people's shin bones and that kind of stuff to help out. You know, there's an argument about the machines with the bent knees, putting the spine out of a good position, that kind of stuff. That's a whole different argument. But the reason I don't personally think these should be level 1 progression when it comes to pull-ups, because what's the band there essentially to do? Make it easier, right? It's not there to teach you a good position. All it does is make the movement easier, great. But you can still do a crap pull-up with assistance. If you've got no control or awareness of what your scaps are doing, how your lats are feeling, how your biceps are feeling, what angle, what position your elbows are in, that makes no difference. And it's one of those things where a lot of people don't understand that when they then suddenly show, well, I've done 4 sets of 15, banded pull-ups, great. I go and hang on a bar and I can do 1, maybe 2 pull-ups before I'm absolutely broken. And then they're like, that makes no sense. And that's exactly why. These bands don't give you any awareness. When it comes to moving up and down, yes, it's going to teach you to move up and down. It isn't going to teach you to move up and down the most effective way. So that's why personally I don't agree with them being the first place to do progression stuff. If you agree with me, give it a massive thumbs up at this point. If you don't, it's an open forum, as I always say. Leave your comments below, give me some of your experience and feedback with assisted stuff and where you think that fits in the realm of doing pull-ups and everything. In the meantime, let's crack on and get a little bit more awareness, mobilization, get our body in the position, the most effective position to help support decent pull-ups right now. First, as soon as you get into the gym, on all fours, arms nice and straight, push that back up, roll the hips underneath, separating the shoulder blades, and then bring them together. Separate, bring together, right? Really simple. You would have seen all of this kind of stuff in yoga, but you've probably never done it because you don't do yoga. But it's all about mobilizing that spine, getting the shoulder blades moving. 8 to 10 repetitions up and down, 3 sets. That is a perfect starter just to get a little bit of awareness there. The body's gonna start going, oh, okay, cool, I need to start moving the scaps. And if you're not sure how your scapulars are moving at the moment, a really good tip, while you're doing that, get somebody to film it from over the top, a little bird's eye view, because if you've had any past injuries or slight imbalances, for instance, when John snapped his collarbone ligaments, his left scap stopped moving because it was trying to support and stabilize that shoulder because the collarbone, it knew something was wrong, so it went, oh, I need to freeze this to make sure that that's okay, right? That happens with the body. It's extremely intuitive and intelligent that way. So if you've got a scap that's not particularly moving that well, you can see a therapist who will help manipulate it and get it going in the right direction. You can do a few things yourself to help get them moving. Scaps moving. Fan-dabby-dozy. Next up, we need to get some muscles around the scaps to help support the movement, but also keep them in a good position or a favorable position, which are the traps. Not necessarily the upper traps. They're greedy old sods. They'll get involved everywhere they can. But middle or mid and lower trap activation. We've probably talked about this before. I would imagine we should have done by now. If we haven't, we need to have a word with ourselves. These little muscle groups are fantastic. They're like, think of a parachute being taken off on your back, right? You're stood there and a parachute goes off. Boom. Shoulders retract and depress, right? That is the job of the mid and lower traps. Completely lost my train of thought there, sorry. And if we can get these activated, they're gonna feel really weird to start with doing these kind of movements. You're not gonna do them heavy. This is no bro lifting in here with this kind of stuff. It's low weight, body weight to start with, I would say, or at most, a band. Get them activated and trust me, your pull-ups will fly. So this is what I've been doing. First up, plate swims and plate pressing. Nice lightweight. Lying down, remember, pinch those glutes, right? So you've all done like a dorsal raise, so it's essentially the same, glutes nice and tight, shoulders up off the floor. The only difference is you've got a weight to contend with this time. So from this position, take your weights, put your nose down to the floor. Obviously I can't because I'm talking. Pull your shoulders back into an active position. Tip your elbows down a little bit. Then from there, then you lift up into that strong position. From there, I want you to hold the weights just off the floor. If you can, bring them in here. Hold elbows down, pinched in, shoulders back away from the ears. Nice and tight, slow, 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 slow. If you start to feel the shoulders rolling forward and dropping down, the weight's probably too heavy. So all you need to do, take the weight away, shoulders back and down, pull, hold, 3, 2, 1, slow extend, back, active position, hold, 3, 2, 1, and extend. Simple as that. 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps, nice and slow, hold the pinch at the top just to get nice activation and control over the scaps. Last set, don't have any hold. Try and keep that movement consistent, proficient up and down or forward and backwards, and keeping the scats where they need to be. You'll feel almost a little bit numb and a little bit like your lower back's gonna cramp, but that's just because your mid and lower traps haven't necessarily been doing a great deal for so long, and you've just essentially targeted them and they're going, oh my God, what do I do? So keep a nice strong position, get that in, start the workout. Next up, get your bands out. How many people here go do this? Walk around the gym, ow, that slapped. Doing their band work, going, yeah, just warming up. Again, fantastic piece of kit. Just the same as the pull-ups. If you've got yourself in a wrong position, it makes no difference how many times you pull up. All you're gonna do is bang your triceps out probably. So when it comes to the band, all right, a lot of people think of, because it's one whole band, it is in a loop, that you have to hold it both sides. But that might be way too much resistance for people. So what I want you to do, just drop one side, half the resistance straight away. Standing with a set position, feet under the hips, glutes nice and tight, core activated. Hands in front of the shoulders, just bear in mind that the closer you bring your hands together, the more resistance, the harder it's gonna be. So what I want you to aim for, keep walking your hands out until you feel that you can pull your hands to your sides with constant resistance. And then when you come back in, you've still got resistance. It's not so wide that when you get to there, there's no resistance whatsoever, right? Find that position. Lock your arms out straight, pull your shoulder blades back, depress them, slightly turn the elbows underneath as well, just to get the lats nice and tight and hold in that position. From there, band is pretty much shoulder height, maybe a little bit lower, and you're gonna pull back in a nice favorable position. If your shoulders start to internally rotate and you just feel your delts getting trashed because they're up here somewhere, change it. Take the resistance off a little bit, set yourself again, tight, 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 tight. Nice tight shoulder blades, everything's active all the way through the movement, nice and symmetrical. It's easy for me because I can look in a camera and see the same. Do this in front of a mirror so you've not got one arm going up like that and doing all this kind of crazy stuff. Again, 10 to 15 reps, 3 sets. It is super simple stuff. But by the end of it, you should be feeling like you're walking around the gym. Oh my God, my chest is massive. Your chest should feel elevated. You should feel warmth between your shoulder blades. You should feel like your neck's never been so long. That is a perfect position to approach that bar with. And you will know as soon as you lift up on that bar the first time what everything's doing. It's warm, it's ready, it wants to work. So, with that being said, to the bar. If you've been doing assisted work, this is where I'd say the band comes in. You've done all your activation drills, you've warmed up, your back is ready to go. If you still can't do pull-ups, that is. So bringing the band over. Right, nice and tight. The resistance for the band should be set so that it takes about, I would say to start with, around 40 to 50% of your body weight. So you can get yourself into a favorable position. You're still having to work, but it's not just slingshotting you up, because you still want that eccentric work because you need to get tension there. From there, 1 foot down, 1 foot out, core nice and tight. And remember, that position, when you hang from a bar, don't forget it as soon as you've stepped up there. Get there, activate, and then pull through the movement. So the path of your elbows, you almost want to think that you're placing them into your back pockets. It's going to keep them moving in a nice position. It's going to help the shoulders stay away from the neck, keep the shoulder blades or the scaps retracted, and it's going to support a nice efficient pull-up. So that is banded. And then after that, I would normally actually put banded in. I forgot to say that. My first set, when I hang up on the bar, I'll do a banded set again, just to make sure that everything's nice and warm and activated. And then into the real workout, lat pull-ups. Depending on the stimulus, what I'm working on at the moment is obviously strength. So I'll do 5 sets of 5 with a slight weight. So there we have it. That's as simple as that. That is the things that I'm doing at the moment every week to help improve my pull-ups and then help the transfer over to chest to bar pull-ups. Before I get the question of when should you do butterflies if you've just started CrossFit, or when should you be doing chest to bars, that kind of stuff, never turn onto a kip-in variation until you can do at least 10 to 15 of the exercise strict. So the same as when you do muscle-ups. If you want to do kip-in muscle-ups or bar muscle-ups, if you can't do them strict, don't do them kip-in, because your shoulders are just going to get absolutely torched. But one thing I forgot to say when it comes to the bar, there's an argument about at the bottom of a pull-up, do you completely relax? God, I can't get my words today. I'm so sorry. Do you completely relax, then get your shoulders back into a strong position and pull? If you're trying to activate the scaps, like to start with, for like the first 3 or 4 sessions when you start putting these drills in, that's brilliant. Just to build that awareness, that pattern where your body goes, okay, scapular retraction, I'm ready to go again. Completely relax at the end. Pull yourself back into a position, then pull up between every single rep. That's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be a lot harder than keeping constant tension, getting down to a nice straight arm and then pulling straight back out of the movement, but just mix it up. So a bit of a random one. I know I'm just in the middle of a workout and I was like, you know what? I think this is the stuff that you guys and girls wanna hear and need to hear more of. I hope it really helps. If you've got any different opinions, love to hear them below. If you like the video, as always, give it a massive thumbs up. We will be back in a few days' time with 18.3. Really excited for it. Hope you guys are having fun with the Open. Have a good day.